Welcome back. Well, he's been a member of parliament for just 7 years, but Derek O'Brien has also been one of the most prolific members of parliament. We've seen him very participative, argumentative, and very much involved in the parliamentary process. And that's why perhaps it's no surprise that his latest book is called Inside Parliament. We have Derek joining us here in the studio, and many congratulations because the book actually got released today, Derek. And what's interesting is, it's what, your 53rd publication, but you say that it's your actual first book. Why?
Yes, because the earlier ones have all been quiz books and reference books. This is not a quiz book or a reference book. This is the real thing. So 47, 48 essays. I was thinking whether I should do a book, because normally you're supposed to do a book after you retire from public life, or, you know, after you get thrown out of a party. But I'm very happy that my party and Mamta Di encouraged me to put my thoughts down, and lots of what the party also feels down in a book of essays. So I've had great fun writing it, and I'm having great fun now coming to studios to make a little bit of a noise about the book.
Yeah, and what's interesting is that it covers a whole range of political issues, contemporary political issues. And I want to begin with the one that immediately caught my attention, which was about 2019. And whereas the general narrative seems to be that Narendra Modi is unstoppable and unbeatable, you've actually said, I believe that Narendra Modi can be stopped in 2019. Yes. And you have listed out 3 ways that that can be done. Tell us about that.
Well, of course, I come from a party who've beaten the BJP black and blue politically, electorally, both in 2014 and 2016. So we know what winning tastes like in Bengal. And yes, it's possible. Because,
but it's difficult.
Sorry?
It's difficult.
No. When you're taking on a prime minister who's got 280 seats, I mean, it's not a teddy bear's picnic. Of course, it's difficult. But I think what gives me confidence, in the last 6 months or 9 months, I've actually seen within parliament and outside parliament, the opposition is working together. So that's the first thing which is happening. So number one, I do believe that it cannot be a Mr. Modi versus A, B or C. We've got to get him to fight 29 local elections. By that I mean not only in language, but in idiom.
You're saying it would be a mistake to make it about Narendra Modi versus an opposition face?
Yes, the opposition face has to be in Bengal. Look at 2014. Mamta Di in Bengal, we defeated the BJP. In Naveen Babu in Odisha, same thing. Jayalalitha in Tamil Nadu. Or for example, Captain Amarinder Singh in Punjab, or I think in Congress will do very well in Karnataka. So you have to see which are the states where the Congress is strong, which are the states where the state, I want to call them leaders in a state, are very strong. And that's the first way to do it. That has to be done. Number 2, the opposition narrative has to be on what I call judge, since the BJP loves the acronyms, JUDGE. So judge them on jobs, on underperformance, D for demonetization, G for GST, and E for the economic situation. So we have to stay on that.
Well done with the acronym. You've learned
not
well.
a bad. I'm learning, but no getting distracted with with these issues which otherwise polarize. Leave them out. That's what the BJP wants.
Look, there are a couple of interesting things you said there. Let me ask you first about the polarization issues. Now, that is an accusation that's often made against Mamta Banerjee and her style of politics in West Bengal, that she also plays a politics of polarization, but on the other side, by, sort of hobnobbing with some of the more extreme clerics in the Muslim community and so on. So, in a sense, hasn't the TMC already fallen into that trap?
Of course not. Look at the 2016 election results in Bengal. Trinamool got 48% of the vote. What is the population, minority population in Bengal? We got 48% of the vote. So Bengal is Hindu, Muslim, Christian, everyone. There's communal harmony and there's development. That's why Mamta Di and the Trinamool are winning. So that's a period of polarization. Of course, Mamta Di for polarization, the people. It's polarization to people, is not polarization to a particular community. Polarization is not the trap which the BJP are trying to set. So all of us in the opposition have to be extremely careful to stick to these JUDGE, and I'm sure every political party will. It's happening as well. Like if you look at November 8th, how well it was coordinated by all the 19 opposition parties. Sonia Gandhi is the chairperson of that group. Mamta Di is there with 34 MPs, and then there's another group with about 35 MPs. Great coordination. We chose the date correctly. We chose a name correctly. By the way, that name Black Day didn't come from Trinamool. It didn't come from Congress. It came from the DMK. But we all thought it was a very nice name, so we went with it. And the third and most important part is how did these federal parties express themselves, Nidhi, on November the 8th? We had different ways to voice our protest.
But you know, that sounds very lovely right now, but you know, when coming together to fight a general election is much more complicated. You have, like you said, people like Mamata Banerjee, Naveen Patnaik, maybe the Congress and Rahul Gandhi. Everyone has
I didn't mention Stalin, because I think Stalin and the DMK will sweep Tamil Nadu. That's minus 40 from BJP before they start.
But tell me something, you have all these leaders who have their own leadership aspirations. How does the opposition deal with those contradictions?
There are absolutely no contradictions. Each party has their own view. And I think the parties in Bengal and the parties in Tamil Nadu, and why only the opposition parties, even the Shiv Sena, we will acknowledge that the Congress have a very important role to play in Delhi with their new president.
Even the Shiv Sena means what? Are you guys talking to the Shiv Sena? Of
course we are. Mamta Di had a 2-hour conversation with Uddhav Thackeray when she was in Mumbai 10 days ago. They had a 2-hour conversation. Why are you surprised we are talking to the Shiv Sena?
No. So tell me more about that conversation. Was that a bigger conversation about future alliances as well?
Let me tell you. It's about issues first. When the Trinamool Congress, 1 week after demonetization was announced and Parliament was on, we wanted to march. We marched with Mamta Di, with the MPs of the Trinamool to Rashtrapati Bhavan. Guess who marched with us? Look up your pictures. Only 2 parties. Umar Abdullah National Conference and Shiv Sena marched with us.
That's
it was
true.
only later, was only later, and it's good they did, that the Congress, the left and everybody else came. To be fair to the Congress, I do believe they wanted to march with us in November last year itself, but the left had this handbrake which was effective that time.
But it's different when you say that Mamta had a long conversation with Uddhav Thackeray just 10 days ago when she was there in Mumbai. I mean, was that a conversation that spoke about realignments, political realignments, bigger political realignments?
Well, I was not privy to the conversation they had, but I can certainly tell you they were not discussing golgappas on the quality of golgappas or pani puris or whatever you call them in pani puris, I think, in Mumbai, and golgappas in Delhi. They weren't discussing the quality of pani puris, nor were they discussing the weather report on Marine Drive. They had a political discussion, I'm sure, and I'm sure they had discussions to do with issues. On demonetization, we are on the same page as them and many other parties. And don't leave our part of the mix. Because even Aam Aadmi Party, they may have some issues with the Congress in Delhi. They're completely on board with the opposition on a host of other issues. As are the SP, as are the BSP and the Shiv Sena.
But Derek, also for opposition unity to really work, you need, for instance, parties like the Samajwadi Party and Mayawati in UP, who are the big fat cats really, to come together. Do you see that happening? And if you need to do that, you need to do that now.
Of course we need to do that, and it will happen. It needs to happen. As I said, it needs to happen because the focus, what we are saying, is the focus when the institutions of this country have been broken down. Institutions have been broken, social fabric is in the country, is in a mess, the economy is all about boom, 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 but nothing really happening. So the focus is how do you remove the BJP? And that's what I've suggested in the essay. And it's not some suggestion I've made, because this coordination, I'm seeing it happening very closely in the last 9 months. Mamta Di is obviously playing a very important role because she's just come off a big win. And it's also happening, not only, it's happening on the ground, and the parties have allowed to have their own independence. The Congress party is the Congress party. The DMK is the DMK, Trinamool is Trinamool. But there is some common ground. It's also happening on the social media, let me tell you, and that's why the BJP are also on the defensive, even in the digital world.
Would it be a mistake, though, if the opposition was to make the 2019 campaign only about it being an anti-BJP vote? Because ultimately, you also have to give people a narrative, a counter-narrative of what you can do that is different.
Good question. And that's why I'm telling you. So Mamta Di has a story in Bengal of what we have done. What is our track record? Where you go to Bengal and say, hey, listen, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao is a scam. 300 crores spent in 3.5 years. You come to Bengal, 41 lakh girls, guess the budget, Nidhi. Not 300 crores, not 3,000 crores, 5,000 crores. So there'll be similar examples in Tamil Nadu. There'll be similar examples in Karnataka. I really do believe that if we get this focus right, and I'm not the spokesperson for the opposition, I'm speaking as a student of politics, as somebody in the Trinamool, and Mamta Di really believes that even SP, BSP will talk to everybody, and they must work together.
Is she trying to get the SP and BSP together? Is she trying to do much more behind the scenes than we know?
Let me tell you what I am privy to. There is not a single opposition party, and goes beyond the opposition party, I mentioned the Shiv Sena to you, who are not in very close and good contact with Mamta Di because of her credibility, because of the kind of her track record about people's movements, the kind she's run for the last 30, 40 years, and because win, people like winners.
Let me go back to that point that you raised about not making 2019 a contest between Narendra Modi and one opposition face. The fact is that the Congress will certainly try, with Rahul Gandhi's elevation now happening soon, will certainly want to project Rahul Gandhi as that face, that prime ministerial face. Are you saying that would be a mistake?
No, I cannot pass any comment here on any party beyond the Trinamool Congress. Okay, so I think that's
as a key opposition
that's
leader.
for the Congress. That's for the Congress party to work out. But what I can tell you is that not only inside Parliament, outside Parliament, there is a lot of coordination happening between the parties. The state may be different. In Bengal, we will take on the BJP, the CPM, the Congress, whoever else will take on. So I think it's not about some ego. It's not about some ego. I think the need is even bigger. Since you got into this one essay, there are other essays on how they failed the economy, on how demonetization has failed, on how this bullet train, any debate. If you call the rail minister, the bullet train no one is against technology. We are for technology, but the bullet train is not the answer. Aadhaar, we are for the concept of a unique identification number. GST, Trinamool is the only party more consistent than Congress or BJP. We've always supported the GST, but we voted against it because we thought the implementation was bad, shoddy. Demonetization, which was the first party. Land reform. These are the kind of issues, and Nidhi, we've gone beyond these issues in the book because there are some social issues.
It's interesting when you talked about strategy there, and I'm going to come back to the issue of personalities again in a bit. When you said that you've been more consistent than the Congress on certain issues, and that's probably correct. In your book, you've also spoken about how when Manmohan Singh, the former Prime Minister, spoke on GST, it was interestingly Trinamool MPs who urged the Congress to get Dr. Manmohan Singh to speak. That tells you something about perhaps the Congress's strategy or lack of it, that it was left to you guys to say, hey, he might actually be the best speaker on this.
Well, I don't want to
put it that way.
I don't want to discuss. Yeah, I don't want to put it that way because the Congress party certainly took the decision of allowing giving the opportunity to Dr. Manmohan Singh. But I think you have to look at it from the point of view of the Congress party then. That was 1 year ago. And this is the Congress party today in 2017. And I think there's a huge change in the outlook of the Congress party. They were coming off a big, just before that there was the UP elections after that. So they were coming off after that a big defeat. The Congress party, I distinctly see this. There's a spring in the step. There's a spring in the step of the Congress. And because there's a spring in the step of the Congress now, after the UP defeat, there is a spring in the step, double the spring in the step of the opposition. Because the BJP now are on the defensive. 3 quick points of how they've been defensive. I haven't mentioned this in the book, but I can tell you the rollback for petrol was a defensive move. The first time they've done it. The GST 155 items, the same people, if you quote the finance minister and the prime minister, nothing was wrong, but 150 rollback. And the third, I think, a defensive move is this parliament, the dates for parliament. But no problem, you bring the dates on. You bring the dates on, whatever dates you want parliament. The dates are completely wrong, but even if you call parliament on Christmas Day, come, I'll be here to debate you on these 5 subjects.
I wanted to ask you about that because you actually put up a Facebook post on the issue of Parliament being delayed, since that is something that couldn't actually make it into your book. And to just dwell more on that, because personally you have taken a lot of interest in Parliament, you take it seriously, you speak regularly, you raise issues regularly.
I think it's not me, I think the Trinamool has, you guys do, sometimes you'll take the regional parties very lightly. We have 47 MPs and I can tell you, we are here not to make up the numbers. In Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, Trinamool takes Parliament very, very seriously.
But do you think that as an institution, it is started to get eroded over a period of time?
Yeah, I've written 3 of my essays in this book are on the subject.
Yeah, whether it's by the government or even by the opposition when it tries to disrupt proceedings and doesn't let the House function.
Opposition is not to blame at all. All the blame is to the BJP because when the leader of the House, and I have a lot of respect for Mr. Jaitley as a senior parliamentarian, but as a leader of the Rajya Sabha, when he starts talking about the Rajya Sabha itself should be shut down, I mean, that's a low-level political statement, not expected from somebody who I look up to as a parliamentarian. So the BJP are not taking, first we thought they're not taking Rajya Sabha seriously, because the joke I wrote, another essay in the book is jersey number 110, because everything is used for Article 110 and they'll make it into a money bill. It's not only Parliament. There is a certain cavalier disdain, you know, which the BJP have for so many institutions. Why only Parliament? You know, it's like this two-man band. The two-man band will decide. And you've asked me a lot about the opposition. This opposition, that opposition, Trinamool, there's a bigger opposition, equal amount of opposition. And that opposition will also surface very soon.
From where? Within the BJP?
From within the BJP.
So you know something? That something's happening?
But even if I know, I won't tell.
Well, obviously not here. You wouldn't say that. Well, Derek, finally, let me just ask you, the other interesting essay was about the lessons that you've learned as a member of parliament. I loved some of this. Stick to issues, don't get personal, and grassroots, not Khan Market. What do you all have against Khan Market?
No,
anyway?
I love Khan. I think the food in Khan Market is very good. But I think the broader point I was making, that's one of my favorite essays.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're asking me about that. Yes, I think I've learned something from seniors in parliament across parties. And from Mamtadi, who also spent a lot of time in parliament. She hasn't made a list of things you must learn. But of course, the few things I did learn is that you can be very aggressive, but on issues. You don't need to get personal. You can still shake someone's hand and wish him the time of the day or her the time of the day. I think this concept of VIP and LIP. If you're an MP, you're still an MP. You're not some God's gift to who needs your bag carried at the airport. Khan Market, this is not so much to, this is more a reference, Nidhi, to the, all you folks in Delhi. I'm sorry to say, you all don't take the parties which are strong in the states seriously. There's a lot of action. Like, I'll give you the real story. In 2006, I came here, 2016, I came here 1 month before the election results were declared in Bengal. And everyone was telling me, you know, Trinamool will lose, this alliance will win, you all get 120. Now, we ourselves knew. So it's a question of understanding. I like Khan Market. The food there is very good. It's a nice ambience.
But it's disconnected from reality.
Yeah, I think the regional flavors, you know, the regional flavors, since I'm stretching the food analogy,
yeah.
That the regional flavors need to come out. I'm not complaining. It's not as a complaint because we do our own thing.
It's an observation.
It's an observation, and I think that's why I would, now I know why the DMK and the AIDMK would do more with the Tamil media, and we would do more with the media in Bengal. So nothing wrong with Khan Market, but I think the overall learning, I've got one more thing in Parliament is that you have to speak with, when you speak, you research it well and you speak with conviction. So there's a lot, actually, to sum it up, I think Parliament is a great university, but I only wish that the university would function,
yeah,
because the government has to make it function.
Well, fantastic to hear from you, Derek O'Brien. The book is called Inside Parliament, and he has done very well with the acronyms. You heard what he said about Judge. He also called the RSS Rumour Spreading Society, but no, I will leave that for another.
Nidhi, I've called the RSS the Rumour Spreading Society, and I've got a full essay on that.
Yes.
Because there's a factual reason why I have called them, not for just to say.
No, I know that.
There's a solid reason why.
And if you want to know why he said that, again, this is the book that you have to read.
Thank you for the
Thanks very much, Derek O'Brien. Thanks.